All right, I'm here with Eliza Rickman, and you just opened for Rasputina.
Yes.
Here at the Haunt. How long has this tour been going?
Just this week. We started the tour on Monday in Philadelphia, and today is Saturday. And then the last show will be tomorrow in Boston.
Okay. So it's just a short little...
Yeah, just a week-long jaunt.
You're from the West Coast?
Yes, I live in Los Angeles.
Okay. And you're not using Megabus this time?
No, I'm not. I tried to book the last East Coast tour I did using Megabus, and it worked beautifully for 3 out of the 4 cities. And then the 4th city, it was snowing and raining at the same time, and the bus just didn't show up. And so I had to, I had to decide between either not making my own show, which is very unprofessional, or forking out $87 and getting an Amtrak ticket across the street. So that's what I did.
Yeah, Megabus is great when they show up.
When they show up, yeah.
Now you've toured with Welcome to Night Vale.
Yes, I've toured with Welcome to Night Vale a few times. I think 6 times.
You
maybe?
did Europe as well, right?
I did Europe in the fall of 2016 with Night Vale, yes.
Wow. How was that experience?
Wonderful. Touring with Night Vale is pretty luxurious from my experience. I mean, they take really good care of the people who are working for them and working with them. Accommodations. Plus, if they're the ones organizing the tour, I don't have to do much planning. I just tag along. I just show up, sound check, and sing, and then their lovely, adoring fans are really nice to me and buy a lot of merch afterwards.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Did that propel you up, getting on Welcome to Night Vale?
Yeah, very much so. I've told a lot of people this, I felt like prior to my experience with Welcome to Night Vale, I was still kind of struggling to find my people, my fan base. I kind of felt like I didn't know what I was doing. And then teaming up with them, the first time was kind of an accident. Jason Webley recommended me to them for a 5-night gig, and we hit it off, and their fans really liked me, and then they used me on the podcast maybe a month after that, and both of those things really opened a lot of doors for me, and I finally felt like I found my fan base, and I figured out what type of person really responds to my music.
Quirky and weird. I
love it. It makes sense. How did I not know that before?
So how did you get started making music?
My evolution of making music has been kind of gradual. I started playing classical piano when I was 8. I was training to be an accompanist for choirs. That's what I was studying to do in college. And then that's when I found out on accident that I could sing. And then that forced me to kind of take a step back and think about what I really wanted to do. And I started playing some of my own songs in cafes. And when people didn't tell me that they sucked, I was like, okay, maybe I could do this instead. And it's been tough, but really, really, really fun. And I lived in LA. That's where I went to school. I started just playing in any gig. I took any gig that anyone would offer me.
Right.
And eventually that got me to where I'm at now.
Nice. Yeah. And that's raising a hell of a lot of money for a music video.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done some cool things.
You have a few videos.
Yes.
And the one I was curious about is it Cinnamon Bone that runs backwards?
Yes.
So did you learn how to sing all that backwards?
For my very first ever music video, I learned it phonetically, last syllable to the first syllable.
Wow.
I wrote it all out and memorized it that way. And then I also had the added stress of having to lip sync it 2.5 times faster than real time so that they could slow it down. And that would give the rising flower petals and leaves a more dramatic effect than if it was just at real time. That was the craziest thing I've ever done for art, and I didn't leave my apartment for a week. That's all I did was memorize that, and it turned out really beautiful and really powerful.
Because when I watched that, I'm thinking, how would I do this?
Yeah.
I would make the person sing it backwards, but that's really hard to do.
Yeah. We actually, I guess they didn't let on, but my directors weren't entirely sure that the whole thing was going to work out until we already shot it, and they synced it up to the audio, and it was like as perfect as it could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really, really proud of that. And it was made on, pennies. I didn't crowdfund it or anything.
No, and it looks amazing.
Thank you.
What's the other one for?
I have 2 other music
Okay.
videos. One is called, it's for Black Rose, and it stars a
Right.
doll who meets a very tragic demise. And then the last one I released in 2014, and that features a lot of taxidermied animals that I'm interacting with, and it's shot in mostly forced perspective, and that one's really fun and whimsical too. And that one's for Start With Goodbye, Stop With Hello.
Okay. Now, the new video,
Yes.
you raised how much for it?
I raised over $40,000 for it. And that broke the record for the most successful music video campaign in crowdfunding history. For one video.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
Thank you.
And it's already shot.
It's already shot. We shot the bulk of it in late September, early October. Did a couple of pickup shots. Edited the shit out of it, and it's finally done. It's been sent to Kickstarter backers maybe a month ago, and then it will be out to the public. It should be out on May 4th. It'll be
Nice.
on my YouTube channel, and I don't want to speak out of turn and say the wrong premiere partner, so I'm just going to say I don't know who the premiere partner is, but it'll be on my YouTube channel. Pretty Little Head is the name of the song.
And this was done by a Hollywood producer?
It was done by, a guy who lives in Hollywood, a young guy who I met through the couple who directed all my other music videos.
Ah, okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So you have 2 albums.
I have 2 albums.
I thought there was a third one on your Bandcamp.
There is an EP on my
Okay.
Bandcamp page, and there's a lot of what do you call it? A lot of doubles. Like there are songs that are on that EP that are also on my first album, so I don't really promote it. It's all me and a toy piano, and that's it. And it's lovely. It's and you can still download it digitally, but
But you didn't put it on CD.
yeah, it's not on CD anymore. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you're like today when you played live, it's just you and an instrument.
Yes.
How many instruments do you play?
Someone just asked me that the other night, and I don't know. I want to say like 8 or 9 different
Wow.
instruments. I mean, if I have the full setup, I can play like 8 or 9 different instruments. And yeah, when I tour, most of the time it's solo, especially if I'm the opening act.
Mhm.
It's nice to be sort of self-contained. But I play with like a string section sometimes when I'm in Los Angeles. That's where I live.
Oh, that's cool.
And I'm about to do a tour after the music video comes out for Pretty Little Head. I'm about to do a tour around mostly the Southwest and like Denver, California, the West Coast, with my romantic and musical partner. As of the last few months, we'll be touring together as a duo. So that's exciting
that's
for
cool.
me. Yeah.
What band does he have?
He is in a band called 3 for Silver. He plays violin and mandolin and some percussion, and he's a really sensitive player, so he adds a lot. Like, between the 2 of us, it's kind of amazing how much sound we can get out of us.
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, how would you define your music?
I always have trouble with that.
I figured. Someone asked me today what you sounded like, and I didn't have a good answer for them.
A friend of mine once said that my genre is post-Prince Charming. And I feel like that's the most concise description of my music. Like, it paints a pretty clear picture. I sound like a Disney princess who's been screwed over.
Now, where does your lyrical inspiration come from?
Almost always my lyrical inspiration comes from personal romantic experiences, and especially heartache. I never run out of inspiration.
So how do your songs come together? Is it lyrics or music first?
Usually music first. Usually I'll just, like, a little piece of a melody will kind of, I feel like it's just floating into my brain, and I have to be in a certain mood.
Mm-hmm.
It happens a lot when I'm driving, or when always when I'm not anywhere near an instrument.
Of course.
So thank God for iPhones and devices that you can just like sing a little bit and record it and like go back to it later.
Yeah.
A little piece of a melody will come to me, and then I will maybe think about some words that might fit with that melody, and then just kind of piece together a song from there.
Nice. What has been one of your best live experiences?
Oh, that's tough. I've had some really great experiences, both, big and small shows. Last night I played a house show in Willimantic, Connecticut for some super fans, and they're nerd-tastic friends, and it was in their basement, and I'm the only person they've ever hosted a house show for, and it was so good, and they were with me 1,000%, like laughing at all my jokes and just like hanging on to every word of my stories, and like really enjoying the sensitivity of the songs. And it was one of those experiences that reminded me of why I became a musician. So a magical, powerful, and memorable performance for me doesn't necessarily have to be like really big. A highlight from my professional life was playing at the London Palladium as the musical guest for Welcome to Night Vale, and that venue seats, I want to say it's 2,300 people, and that's the largest audience I've ever played for. And I got to sing my David Bowie cover, Let's Dance, and it was the same year he died, and it, like, you could feel everyone's heartstrings like just being tugged at, and it was really hard for me to not cry, but I managed. I felt really honored to be able to do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What's one of the weirdest things that's happened to you playing live?
Weirdest. Oh, I really should be able to answer that, because so many weird things happen to me. Like while I'm on stage?
On stage, on tour, whatever. Whatever comes to mind.
Well, a lot of weird stuff happens to me, usually like when I'm getting from gig to gig, or maybe after a gig. This might not be the weirdest, but it is something I remember. Like, especially when I was first starting out, people would want to help and they would be willing to put me up, but they apparently like didn't see me for the high maintenance princess that I am, and they'd be like, oh, we can just put her in this abandoned schoolhouse. I had someone try to put me in an abandoned schoolhouse that was right next to her apartment, and there was no running water in it, and I was just like, but I look at me, I need to like wash my face. And so some of that has been really fascinating, and jarring. Most of that happened like in my earlier days of touring. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long have you been doing this?
I've been at it for a long time now. I guess 9 or 10 years. Yeah. My EP came out in 2009.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which doesn't seem like it's that long ago.
No, it's alarming.
So when did your last one come out? Last year?
My last album?
Yeah.
It's been a while since that dropped too.
Oh, okay.
Footnotes for the Spring came out in October of 2015.
Okay.
So when my covers album comes out later this year, it will be fucking time for a new album. For sure.
Is it a full length?
Yeah, it's a full length covers album, full production. Originally, I wanted it to be kind of like my first EP was, like just me and a toy piano, and then I realized I just had too many grandiose visions for it. So it's taken a lot longer, and I've had a lot of different engineers that I've like cycled through. So it's just been a longer artistic project and process than I anticipated.
What are some of the covers that you have on there?
They're all classics, really. The only kind of contemporary one is The Art Teacher by Rufus Wainwright, but they're mostly classics. There's the Phil Spector hit, the Ronettes' Be My Baby. There's Johnny Cash, Ring of Fire.
Nice. That's going to sound interesting.
Yeah. There's Brian Ferry's Slave to Love. There's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. Brand New Key. That one's really fun. Yeah, lots of classics.
Okay. So if you stopped doing this tomorrow, would you say it'd been worth it?
Absolutely, but I can't imagine stopping tomorrow.
Well, I hope not.
You'd have to kill me. There's never been a plan B. I really enjoy what I do. I feel very lucky.
Good,
Yeah.
good. It's hard sometimes for someone to make it just making music.
It is. It's a struggle. I'm broke. I'm in debt right now, but I'm still having.
So is everyone else.
Yeah. At least I'm in debt doing what I love.
Right.
Yeah.
Where's the best place for people to follow you? What do you update the most?
To my deep chagrin, just because everyone's on it, Facebook.
Yeah.
And I like Instagram, owned by the same people. But I try to post on everything because I never know who's going to see what on what platform. I use it all: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, occasionally Tumblr. And yeah, I guess that's it.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Thank you very much.